What's up, friends, and welcome into Fantasy Pros. This is the Fantasy Baseball Podcast. I am Chris Welsh, and today we're talking breakouts. 8 breakout players that you've got to get on your team. I'm going to be breaking down why I like them, some performances year in and year out, and you can also figure out if these guys are breakouts. There's a couple of these guys that started the process, but this year, they're going to finish it. 8 breakout players that I love for this season. Fantasy Pros is in full swing for the baseball season. Talking about players that I love, well, guess what? You can check that out on the ranks over at Fantasy Pros. We've got my Dynasty ranks up there, and we've already got industry experts dropping their ranks. So go to Fantasy Pros right now, check the MLB side, and you can check out all the ranks, get your draft prep started. We've got articles. I got a Dynasty article up there, and we've got mock drafts and more. Mock draft lobby we're going to talk about later, opening up. Next thing you know it, all the tools are right in front of you. So Fantasy Pros MLB's got you covered, but start the process today and start perusing, my friends. Let's get into it. We've got 8 players, so no time to waste. Let's kick it to player number 8. Going down the list, we're going with a pitcher, Seattle Mariners, Bryan Woo. Woo kind of quietly had a great year last year. He had a 2.89 ERA and a 0.9 whip. His ERA was also supported by a 2.72 expected ERA, which, by the way, that was in the top 6 percentile of the league. So, Welsh, why is he going to break out? Well, he also induced some great weak contact. The most impressive thing across the board was 2.9 walks per 9. Love all of that. Again, where's the breakout? It's all going to be about innings and volume. You're going to take a pitcher with a low ERA, low contact against, and low walk rates, and now you're going to spread them out over a season. Now, the potential negative, if you want to call it that, he's got a modest 21% strikeout rate. That's what he had last year. But there is still room to grow as his sinker and slider both graded higher on the Stuff Plus scale at 110 or higher. That's 2 pitches of Stuff Plus 110. So, as the sinker is going to induce the weak contact, the slider could uptick to more strikeouts. Woo pitches in a fantastic pitching environment in Seattle, and he's got the floor and the ceiling that could potentially resemble his pitching mate, George Kirby. Coming in at number 7, we are staying in the pitching market. We're going to go to Tampa Bay Rays, Taj Bradley. Bradley finished 2024 with a 4.11 ERA in 138 innings. He dropped his ERA a run and a half from 23 to 24 while adding around 30 innings. He also was able to drop his whip from 1.39 to 1.22. Very solid last year. He started the year hot with a first half 2.9 ERA. Yes, let's keep going. But then the second half fell off with an ERA that ballooned over 5. August killed Bradley. He gave up 27 earned runs in the month of August. That, my friends, was more earned runs than all the months combined prior to that. So why is Bradley a breakout? He's shown huge growth year over year, and then he's going to take that into 2025. That 2.90 ERA first half is a great indicator of things to come. In that growth, he had upped his splitter percentage to become his second most used pitch, throwing it 26% of the time. Why is that important? The splitter ended up with a 37% K percentage and the second best Stuff Plus splitter in baseball in 130 innings or more pitched. That is now paired with the number 1 fastball Stuff Plus in baseball of any pitcher with 130 innings pitched. That's important because we'll talk about another little marker later, but 130 innings or more, it's the number 1 Stuff Plus fastball out there and a killer splitter. ATC projections are out, yay! And they agree, projecting him at a 3.8 ERA and an almost 10 K per 9. Taj Bradley breakout season incoming. Coming in at number 6, we are going to go to a hitter, Colorado Rockies, Michael Toglia. Though Toglia hit 25 homers, that's great. It was very Gallo-esque last season with a .218 batting average and a 32% K percentage. His hitting profile, though, screams breakout. He had a 17% barrel rate and a 50% hard hit rate, which both ranked inside the top 6 percentile of the entire league. His expected batting average was quite a bit higher than his actual batting average. That expected average was .244. He hit just .197 in the first half last year, but resembled the expected stats with a .235 second half average. Toglia also surprisingly struggled against righties this past year, hitting just .210 versus .236 against lefties, and he typically hits 20 points or higher against righties. Projections as a whole see regression in his average going up and his Ks going down, yet no significant increase in power. I believe that will change. If Toglia hits 240 this year, he's gonna hit 30 or more homers. Lock it. Colorado clearly being the most glaring advantage for Toglia as well, being the best hitter environment in all of baseball, and is a great reason to look at Michael Toglia as a breakout. Coming in at number 5, let's go to Pittsburgh. We've got starting pitcher Jared Jones. Jones came out hot in 2024, but he dragged to the finish line. The year total was a 4.14 ERA and a 4.05 expected ERA. 6 wins to 8 losses, and 132 strikeouts over 121 innings. Solid year, not breakout. Like many of these young pitchers, he started hot as mentioned before with a 3.156 first half ERA, and then it faltered to a 5.87 ERA. But I will point out that was only in 30 innings in the registered second half. He got hit hard at times, giving up a 9.8% barrel rate, which is high, and a 44% hard hit rate, which was bottom 10 percentile of the league. Why we remain positive and feel the breakouts coming is that fastball slider combo. Both pitchers held batters to hitting under 225 against, while the curve and changeup had an average of 300 or higher, so you would expect we are going to have some pitch mix changes. When looking at 120 innings as the threshold, remember that, Jones' fastball was number 1 among all starters with a stuff plus of 132. His slider was also a 130 plus stuff plus pitch, with stuff plus just signaling how good these pitches really are. Jones was the only pitcher to have a 130 fastball and a 130 anything else pitch. The Pirates pitching development is on the plus, and if Jones can find a tweak or two, a third offering could mess with hitters enough to put the fastball slider combo to become even more deadly and push him to a 30% K percentage guy. He's got the offerings, he just needs to find the right mix. But with that strikeout potential, Jared Jones could have a big year in front of him. Friends, draft season is almost here, and that means it is time to mock drafts. Enhance your fantasy baseball draft preparation with FantasyPros Mock Draft Simulator. Complete a draft in minutes with virtually no waiting between picks. Tailor mocks to your league rules, including keepers, roster settings, and scoring settings. Experiment with different draft strategies to find what works best and receive immediate grades and feedback to refine your approach. Start practicing for your draft today at fantasypros.com/mock. That's fantasypros.com/mock. All right, we are in the end game. Coming in at number 4, we are going with New York Yankees, Jasson Dominguez. There's not much to speak of on Dominguez in his major league stint. He hit 2 homers in 58 at-bats. In the minors, though, he hit over 300 with 11 homers and 16 stolen bases in 56 minor league games. Dominguez is primed for an everyday gig now with the Yankees, with Soto out of town. His hitting profile is solid, with a 10% barrel rate, 45% hard hit rate. That's as good as we could ask. He actually struggled last year with fastballs, which that is most likely going to be a big change. Though Dominguez is a switch hitter, he should be batting left more often. And the ballpark is a huge benefit, as Yankee Stadium has the 3rd best home run ballpark factor for left-handed hitters in baseball. Dominguez will hit lower in the lineup, but he is a power speed threat who could move through the lineup quickly. Early projections have him essentially a 2020 player if he plays over 130 games this year with around a 240 batting average. If he steps into more contact, not only will Dominguez be a great draft day value, but a huge fantasy breakout. Coming in at number 3, a fellow rookie outfielder, Washington Nationals' Dylan Cruz. We saw a little over 100 at-bats of Cruz last season, just enough to keep him rookie eligible this year. He hit just .218 with 3 homers, but stole 12 bases. His underlying metrics are telling us that this could be a breakout player in 2025. His .218 batting average was met with a .253 expected batting average. He had a 6.4 barrel percentage, which is a bit low, but he paired it with a very nice 44% hard hit rate. His 86% zone contact percentage was not only great, but well above league average. And he not only walked 8% of the time, but had a strikeout rate under 20%, which is huge for a young hitter. He took the majority of his at-bats from the leadoff spot, and if he hits in the top 3 of the lineup, Cruz could not only put up fantastic runs, but has a chance to be a 15-30, maybe even 20-30 fantasy player going outside the top 100. Coming in at number 2, we're going with the last pitcher, my favorite breakout pitcher so far, Atlanta Braves' Spencer Schwellenbach. Schwellenbach kind of already started the breakout last year. He had a 3.35 ERA in 123 innings, very good. His expected ERA was 3.44, supporting what he did while posting a 25% K percentage with just a 4% walk rate. Now, like Woo from earlier, he also induces a lot of weak contact, but has much greater K upside with low walks. Schwellenbach uses 5 pitches 10% or more of the time. 4 of those pitches have a 24% or higher K percentage. His splitter and curve both had a 40% or higher K percentage. He finished the year hot as well, putting up a 2.79 ERA in his final 79 innings pitched. His combo of stuff, command-induced contact, screams breakout, and is someone I will have a lot of shares of. And number 1 on the list, Baltimore Orioles, Jordan Westburg. Westburg is coming off a solid year, hitting .286, 18 homers, 6 stolen bases. Nothing to scoff at or write home about, but also not something we would designate as a breakout. His underlying data is yelling at us, though. He had a .281 expected batting average, which ranked inside the top 8 percentile of the league. His expected slug of .491, also in the top 8 percentile of the league. Here's some other things that I love about Westburg. He had a fantastic 11.8% barrel rate and 46% hard hit rate. That is great quality contact. He lowered his K percentage from 24 to 21% year over year, and he raised his average exit velocity to 91.1 from 90. And an added bonus, Baltimore is also bringing in that right field wall to be a little bit more hitter friendly. And guess what? That is Jordan Westburg's hitting side. Westburg's plus hitting profile and improving bat to ball skills make him one of my favorite breakouts in 2025. Those are my 8 favorite breakouts that you got to have on your team, but who do you guys say that we've got to have? If you like someone on this list, let us know. But if you've got a breakout for the 2025 season, drop it below in the comments. We're always looking for the next big breakout, and we'll look from it from you. You guys want more? Make sure you guys are subscribed to the YouTube channel. Of course, we've got lots of content dropping. Fantasy baseball draft season is essentially here. We got you covered. Rankers are already putting in their ranks. You guys do a mock draft. You get reports after. Maybe I'll love it. Maybe I'll hate it. Pia most likely is going to hate your draft. But you can get the scorecards after the fact, and we'll get you hooked up. And if you guys want to join our community, go to fantasypros.com/chat. Once we get into mock draft season, we'll be pulling from our Fantasy Pros community. You can join for free today. Plus, we've got some premium offerings. We do live shows in there. We do AMAs, and we've got an amazing community. So go and check it out today, fantasypros.com/chat. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and we'll talk more breakouts and fantasy baseball next time right here on Fantasy Pros.